Whether or not it was life from another planet, I don't really know.
They're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, they're watching us.
Just for a second, imagine being thousands of miles away from Earth and seeing something strange. Terrifying, right? Indeed, astronauts are very brave. From a strange knock on the spacecraft to a dazzling light show, here are the 10 creepiest things seen by astronauts in space. Let's get started with number 10. A strange knock on the spacecraft. There's no sound in space. Only a vacuum exists. That's what makes this story a strange one. Imagine being in the middle of nowhere with nothing around you and hearing a knock. This was exactly what China's first astronaut, Yang Liwei, encountered during his solo mission. He heard a strange bang on his spaceship. According to him, the sound was as if someone was hitting an iron bucket, but when he looked around, he saw nothing. Liwei's spooky claims could have been false, except that the 2 other Chinese astronauts reported hearing the exact same knock on subsequent space missions. Number 9. A dazzling light show. When you travel to space, you should expect to see some creepy and unbelievable happenings. During the Apollo 11 mission, the astronauts in space witnessed a strange and unimaginable event. Guess what it was? They saw unique and colorful flashes of light. But do you know the weirdest aspect of this? They saw it while their eyes were all closed. Later, scientists concluded that what they observed were cosmic rays, but they're rarely seen on Earth because our atmosphere absorbs them. Number 8. A fire without a flame. From 2009 to 2012, astronauts did several experiments in space, including lighting things on fire to investigate how fire behaves in space. You might be shocked at what they found out. They discovered that fire burns at a much lower temperature in space. That's not all. The craziest thing they noticed was that there could be an actual fire without any flames. Imagine how possible it is to light a fire without flames here on Earth. Indeed, odd things do happen in space. Number 7. Someone is watching us from space. Neil Armstrong is recorded the first astronaut to set foot on the moon. His space adventures have garnered a lot of media coverage, but the most fascinating was when he allegedly sent a secret message to NASA saying, "These babies were huge, enormous. Oh God, you wouldn't believe it. I'm telling you, there are other spacecraft out there. They're on the moon watching us."
Medical channel and spoke directly with the chief medical officer saying, they're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, they're watching us.
Ever think this strange incident happened? He has never commented on it again. So do you think he actually saw something? If so, what could that be? Number 6. Strange lights in space. Leroy Chiao, a former commander of the International Space Station, saw many unusual things during his time. Still, the sight of straight linear lights whizzing in front of him was the creepiest thing he'd ever seen. Some people attempted to brush it away by saying he saw reflections of Earth lights, but they could not do so because he was more than 230 miles away from the Earth at the time. If you think you've heard it all, wait till you hear the story of a long white snake floating in space. Number 5. Something unexplainable. Have you ever encountered something strange that you couldn't explain? This was the case with James McDivitt, an astronaut who's traveled to space countless times. During his 1965 spaceflight, he reportedly said that he saw something in space, a white geometric shape that resembles a beer can with a pencil sticking out of it.
And as it was rotating around, I noticed something out in front that was a white cylindrical shape with a white pole sticking out of one corner of it. It had about the same dimensional relationship as a beer can with a smooth pencil sticking out one corner of it.
This was recorded as one of the early UFO sightings from orbit. However, he later denied seeing a UFO.
Yet you still believe that it was a UFO that you saw on that flight in orbit?
Well, it was a UFO. That means unidentified flying object. Whether or not it was life from another planet, I don't really know.
Number 4. Astronauts heard alien music in their headphones. 4 days after reaching the Great Abyss, American astronauts Tom Stafford, Gene Cernan, and John Young arrived on the moon's far side. While photographing craters and enjoying grape juice, the 3 began to hear a strange and organized music-like noise emanating from their headphones.
That music even sounds outer spacey, doesn't it? You hear that? That whistling sound? Yeah. Woo! Look at your... Yeah, it sounds like, outer space-type music.
The unusual noise lasted for 1 hour. The strange music remained a mystery for decades until popular science explained that the sound was caused by radio interference between spacecraft. Number 3. UFO explodes. On a Soviet spaceflight in 1981, Vladimir Kolyunak saw one of the strangest UFOs ever seen in the history of humanity. As he was manning his duty at the Salyut 6 space station, he looked through a porthole and saw a strange finger-sized object in orbit. It was hard to figure out the size and speed of an object in space, so we couldn't determine the exact size. Viktor Savinkit, his partner, was getting ready to take a picture of it when the UFO exploded and split in 2 pieces. Number 2. A space eel. Dr. Story Musgrave was one of the most prolific astronauts in the annals of space travel. He has 5 degrees in space-related subjects. Therefore, when someone like him says something is off, it's off. During his space travel, he observed what he described as an eel-like monster swimming through space. Guess what? He didn't see this strange creature once, but multiple times. He said it resembles the eel we have here on Earth. Funny enough, to this day, we don't know whether Dr. Story Musgrave actually saw something or if he was just hallucinating. What do you think? Number 1. A snake in space? Dr. Story Musgrave is a retired NASA astronaut who has a long list of accomplishments to his name, so it would be difficult to refute his claim that he saw a 2.44-meter long white snake floating in space. Many inquired if he saw a snake or space pollution, but Dr. Musgrave was confident in his observations to date. Yikes! Which of this bizarre stuff seen by astronauts in space creeps you out the most? Let us know in the comments section below. And also, don't forget to check out our other amazing content popping up right now on your screen. See ya!